This is a man. Some would consider him the father of modern geology. But while he was alive, he was nothing more than a joke among his fellow scientists. He was an expert in many fields: astronomy, meteorology, Arctic exploration, even hot air ballooning. But the theory he was best known for was rejected by the science community until years after his death. You see, one missing piece made his other evidences invalid. This is Alfred Wegener, the man who found the breathtaking theory of continental drift, but was discredited because he was too advanced for his time. One day, something caught the eye of Alfred Wegener. He was fascinated by what he saw. Maybe it was pure chance that he had made this discovery, but he said, "Doesn't the east coast of South America fit exactly against the west coast of Africa? This is an idea I'll have to pursue." His mind had put together these pieces of a puzzle, and he had to show somebody. Unfortunately, his idea contradicted the science of the time, and it was disregarded. The other scientists of the world couldn't just throw away every recent advancement in geological history for one piece of evidence. Alfred Wegener had to find some more. The man was a genius. He got a doctorate degree in astronomy, became an expert on meteorology. He was even the leading expert in the world on glaciology. And on top of all that, he discovers what I would call one of the biggest discoveries in geological history. He was a jack of all scientific trades. Wegener worked on his controversial theory of continental drift for years. He had assistants and collected any evidence that might prove his theory. He even wrote a book which brought his so-called crazy theory to the center of scientific discussion. Since his fame had drifted, like the continents, he was now known for his theory and discredited for it. He had a lot of evidence to defend his theory. His only hope was that the people had an open mind towards his fossil and geological evidence. He started with mountain ranges. At the time, they believed that mountains were randomly placed across the earth, but Wegener pointed out that they were mainly near the edges of continents. He explained further, and made it clear that mountain ranges came from the continents pushing against each other. Mountains even line up to the very coal deposit. He compared it to a torn newspaper. You could put it back together by simply looking at the text. Not only did he tell them that continents fit together, but that they fit together into one larger continent, called Pangaea, meaning all lands. Even after he explained that rock types and fossils matched perfectly between continents, his theory was still a joke to other scientists. He had a way of giving sense to his words, but he was still unsuccessful among his fellow scientists. His theory was clear, and he knew it was true, but the problem was nobody else did. If his theory was right, they would have to start fresh everything they knew about geology. They disagreed so strongly that Wegener was completely shunned and denied any chance of becoming a professor. I'd say he is the Galileo of geological history. Wegener found another piece of evidence, what he thought could be the final piece of the puzzle. In fossils, he found that climates have changed dramatically over time. With his partner, he put together a map. After studying all of the fossils, he could say roughly what type of climate each continent had. By the end, he had a map of each continent together, where the South Pole is currently located. He could now explain the Permo-Carniferous Ice Age. While he thought this would be the thing that returned his reputation, his theory was astonishing, but it was dismissed by critics, and recognized as nothing more than a fairy tale. Disappointed, but never discouraged, he returned to Greenland. He wanted to prove himself a hero while he was the party leader. After bringing his team on an unnecessary quest across glaciers to rescue some of their friends, they returned to celebrate Wegener's 50th birthday. Relieved that their friends didn't need rescuing, they were able to have a good time. He set out into the white again, this time with only one member of the party. He had died in his sleep smiling. Alfred Wegener was happy, even if his life's work was only accepted posthumously. His theory had everything it needed, except for the how. He had clear evidence, some would even say proof. None of that mattered to the other scientists. He wanted to be a hero, but he never got the chance he had in mind. But he knew it was correct, and he stuck with it all throughout his life. He was shunned, insulted, and discredited, but nothing could pull him away from what he believed. If he didn't, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. For that, I'd say he's more than a hero. He's a legend.